All right, guys, so why everything changes once you save up to that first $10,000. Now, I actually just made a video on how I saved up to my first $100,000. So if you haven't watched that video, make sure you check the link above. But yeah, I think it's really pivotal once you hit that first five figures for three key reasons. So let's get right into the list. Let's not waste any time. So the first reason is that you develop a level of financial discipline that you really can't buy from a course, that somebody can't teach you. You really got to go through it yourself, right? When you go from zero to $10,000, you made some sacrifices. You're either working extra hours, you were delaying gratification, not buying your favorite shoes, not going to that concert, so that way you could put away enough money each month to get to that $10,000 figure. Again, we always throw the statistic out, but most people can't even save up to $1,000. So if you're a person that could save up to $10,000, you 10x what most people can't do, right? Most people are actually will probably be $1,000 in debt before they have $1,000 in their savings account. So that is the first thing, financial discipline. And again, if we look at our expenses each month, we have rent, we have groceries, we have medical, all these expenses. So for the middle class person, they're probably only able to tuck away $200 to $300 a month. So if we times that by 12, the average person is probably only able to put away $3,000 a year. So for you to get to that $10,000 figure, most likely it's going to take you two and a half to 3 years to get that number. So it takes a level of financial discipline that you can't get from anywhere else. You just have to go through. And I think it's very, foundational when it comes to the next level, right? When you want to get to 20,000, when you want to get to 30, 40, 50, 100, that process that you took to get to 10 is the same process you're going to use to get to the next level. And again, you can't get that from anywhere else. Nobody's going to show you how to do this. You really have to go through the experience, and that's what you develop when you hit that number. So that it's really pivotal. You get that financial discipline, and again, it's something you can't teach, right? You just have to go through the experience. All right, so that's the first thing on the list, of financial discipline. The second thing that you get from that changes when you get to $10,000 is the leverage, right? You have enough amount of money to leverage to now where your investments matter. And I'm not saying your investments didn't matter when you had a few $100, because maybe you're investing in yourself, you're buying a course or something like that. But now you're able to really leverage your money where you're going to see the difference. One example of that is real estate, right? Like you probably won't be able to buy a property if you only have a few $100, $1,000. But once you get to $10,000, most people qualify for like an FHA loan where they only have to put 3% down. And now you can acquire with that $10,000 a $400,000 property, right? You basically got 30 to 40x your money from that $10,000. So that's another thing that's really beneficial once you hit that first five figures. Now you're able to play in the real estate, obviously not like a huge player, but you're able to, get a property, flip it, and things like that. Also in the stock market or crypto market, that $10,000, obviously I'm assuming you go all in, but if you go all in on a blue chip like an Nvidia or Tesla, it's not that unthinkable, right? A lot of people put that in more. So when you were investing a few $100, $1,000 into a stock like Nvidia, and let's say it doubled, yeah, you made $600, but it doesn't hit that hard, right? Now, if you put 10,000 and you doubled it, you just got $10,000. And we just said, in the first thing I was talking about, financial discipline, it takes 2 to 3 years for the average person to get that $10,000, right? So if you're able to double that money in 6 months, you just got basically 3 years back, right? Let's say you put that 10,000 in Nvidia or Tesla and it doubled, you got an additional 10,000. Obviously, you got to pay capital gains taxes and things like that. But the power of that money is just a lot more, right? You're double. If you double your money, if you double your 10,000, it's just a lot more. And you start to get your time back. You don't have to work that hard to make more money. And that's when you start to see it, I think, when you hit that first 5 figures, that $10,000 number, right? So yeah, leverage is a big thing that people sleep on. Obviously, when you get more than 10,000, you're going to see it too, and that's kind of what deters people away from investing. They only put a few $100 and they're like, oh, I only made like 10, 20 bucks. Because again, most people can't get to this $10,000 number. So they're not they won't know how it feels to even invest $10,000 in a stock because they never had the money. And then they get turned off to investing because they're like, well, what's the point if I'm not going to make much money? Well, you're not going to make much money if you don't put much money in, right? So I do recommend that people try to prioritize getting to that $10,000 figure so that way you could see the leverage, the power of leverage, right? You can get into real estate, you can get into stocks, you can get into crypto, and your money goes a lot farther. And again, I'm not saying just go into these asset classes and throw the whole $10,000 in without doing any research. But again, once you start investing, you're going to see, okay, I need to start putting some more money in to get more out of this, right? A few $100 is not going to cut it. So yeah, I think the second thing that changes is the opportunities that come with leverage become a lot greater for quality assets. And yeah, once you get to that 10,000, leverage is a big advantage. All right, number 3, the third thing that you get when you hit $10,000 is you get a bunch of financial confidence, right? People that just have $1,000 saved or $300 saved, that's like a paycheck, right? For most people, that's like a paycheck or a portion of a paycheck. So they're really not, if they put $1,000 away, they're really not. There's no confidence there, right? They get that money every 2 weeks. Opposed to $10,000, again, you sacrifice time. You delayed gratification. You didn't buy certain things. So, now you're saying, I trust myself to put money away over a certain period and keep it without spending it. So that financial confidence goes up, and it's basically going to say, okay, well, if I got to 10,000, I could get to 100,000. I could get to 200,000. I could get to 300,000. So you could get to, you basically feel like you can get to those next levels, those next financial goals, because for me, that $10,000 figure is just the foundation to the next step, right? I know for me, once I hit that 10,000, again, watch the video where I talk about how I saved it to 100,000. It was very pivotal for me to see that first 10,000 in my bank account. For those of you that have 10,000 in your bank account, the first time you opened up your bank account and you saw it, it was a good sight to see, right? You had 10,000, you see that those 4 zeros in there and or those 5 zeros in there and it feels good, right? Most of you, when you saw that for the first time, you keep looking at the app because it just feels good, and it's one of those things that it just gives you confidence to get to the next level, right? You also, you're more determined to grow it, right? It's almost like a video game, right? Once you get to that next step, you're like, okay, I made to level 3. Now, what's the next thing, right? We're always looking, as humans, we're always looking for the next challenge. But again, most people don't get past $1,000. So, that's their challenge for their whole life, just staying above $1,000 or staying out of debt. So yeah, you got to treat it like a video game. You got to say, okay, I hit this goal. Once you hit that goal, your financial confidence is going to shoot up. And you're going to want to go to that next step, whether it's 40, 50, 60, 100, 500, a million. I just think that $10,000 number is that pivotal stage, that pivotal moment for everybody, that it just triggers a switch in your brain that says, okay, now I'm getting somewhere, right? Now I'm putting some money away and I'm able to make some moves, and you kind of get excited, right? It's almost like, I hate to compare it to gambling, but people that play, or actually let's do like paper trading, because I used to do stock trading in college and things like that, and they had this paper trading where you trade, but you're not trading with real money, and that's kind of how it feels like when you're playing with a few $100. Like, it feels like you're not playing with real money, but once you get to that $10,000 figure, if you feel like, okay, I'm really in the game right now, right? I feel like I'm involved. So yeah, I think those are the three things that change immediately once you hit that $10,000 figure. Let's go over them. The first one is that financial discipline. Again, I don't think you could teach this. It's just something you have to go through. I think everybody should be striving to get to that $10,000 figure themselves. Don't try to ask people for money to get to this. I think you should take that journey on your own, because I think there's just so many valuable lessons to saving up to your first 10,000. Two, the leverage. There's a lot of plays that you can make with leverage, real estate. Your money goes further in stock investments and crypto investments and things like that. So leverage just opens up. And three, your financial confidence for me is just going to shoot through the roof, because you went through the steps, you took the time to put money away each month to get to that $10,000 figure, and it's just going to set you up to get to that next level in the game of finance, right? But yeah, everything changes once you hit that $10,000 figure. So yeah, make that a financial priority. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.